Looks like waiting for the live stream to show up on my phone just to confirm, but I think we're connected.
Hello, Dorothy.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well.
Excuse me.
Okay, there we are.
Sneeze.
We are live. Thank you, everybody. I think this will be a relatively short meeting, I hope. So let's go ahead and get started. I need a motion to start the meeting.
I move to start.
Second, okay. Maybe we should do this first. I'm actually going to move on the agenda the important part because she's already doing the job. I'm going to skip ahead to the secretary vote. We are going to, Arlene has graciously offered to take over for Charlene as secretary for the remainder of the year. She's done this before, and she's doing it now. And so we need to vote in a new executive board member. So I think we need somebody to nominate Arlene. Okay, and is there a second person? And then we need to vote. All in favor of Arlene being the new secretary, say aye. Aye. Okay, that is now done. So now she can officially take the notes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arlene. And we're going to move on to the Treasury Report. Take it away, Jason.
All right, Treasury Report for 2/5 of 24. Actually, cash report as of the 31st of January. The beginning bank balance was $44,211. We had $5,154 in deposits, $3,438 in withdrawals. Ending bank balance $45,927. Cash box balance $135.75. PayPal balance $1,000. Outstanding deposits of $725. Outstanding withdrawals of $1,045. Total cash balance as of 1/31/24, $46,743. As of today, we've spent $69,417 of our $105,887 budget, leaving us with $36,470, or 34.77% remaining. The large change, as we talk about the budget, is due to our winter guard crop purchases, as well as prepaying our 2024 fall marching drill and percussion book. We're currently within our expense budget in all areas. As far as dues, marching band dues, we've received $29,838 of the $54,073 goal, leaving us with $24,235 or 44.82% to collect. Concert/jazz band dues, we received $563 out of the $3,244 goal, leaving us with $2,681 or 82.63% to collect. In fundraising, our gross revenue for fundraising is currently $57,321. Our expenses are $19,020, leaving us with a net profit of $38,301. To date, we have raised 88.45% of our $43,302.
At this point of the year, should we be starting to send like the physical notices home, just like acknowledging your dues stuff? I think that worked out really well last year, and we don't want to be doing that the last minute, or what do you think?
This is the question. We have a template. I had the template from when Jen did it. Did we have last year, Arlene? Did you put together the notice of payments? Did secretary?
I wasn't secretary last year. 2 years ago.
Oh, who was secretary last year?
Crystal.
That's right.
Oh, okay. So I'll follow. I think Crystal did it, and yeah, I do think that we can do that now.
That might be something to think about.
It's an easy report out of Charms. They are getting email ones.
Yeah, but emails I think are a lot easier to ignore than your kid saying, "Mom, Dad, you have to sign this piece of paper for school."
Yeah. So we'll look at that.
But if you've got a
Maybe.
format,
Thank you
it's
for-
easy to merge into your format.
Can you bold that in the meeting notes? Okay. Awesome.
We haven't changed the budget, but we've just been doing this lately. Motion to approve the budget. Then no changes.
I move to approve.
Okay, second. Okay, thank you.
Well,
Go ahead, Luciano and Dorothy.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, moving on to director's update.
Okay, everybody. Several things. The biggest one, the topmost one, is the combination of what we have going on next Thursday and next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It became apparent to me that I need to have more clarity regarding Southwest Honor Band. So this doesn't apply to everybody, but let me do a kind of a 2-for-1. So we have Albuquerque Jazz Fest, which is our the single annual thing that we do out and get adjudicated for our jazz band, which is very, very exciting. We're going to have a wonderful performance. That is next week. I believe our performance is at 6:40, 6:20, Monica? Do you remember?
You've got one on Sunday. Oh, wait, for that one?
For Jazz Fest. Yeah, Jazz Fest.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's at 6:20 or so. So if you can get to El Dorado High School and you wanna support for that, that's happening next week. I think the conflict of information was that some students were misinterpreting information that they received about Southwest Honor Band. Students do not have to be there, particularly Albuquerque students. They don't need to be in Las Cruces until rehearsal doesn't start until 1 p.m. I know that there were some people who were trying to stay the night or necessarily felt like they had to. My voice to say is that you don't have to stay overnight. You don't have to take an extra night for a hotel. If you want to and you can, that's okay. That is a secondary trip to the Jazz Fest. The Jazz Fest is a number one priority as supported by the NMSU band staff. They have had other schools as well who had conflicts in saying that they were going to have band students who were going to be missing Jazz Fest in order to go to Southwest. And they said, please do not. We want to support Albuquerque Jazz Fest. That's why we have made it so much later for all of the Albuquerque students to not travel through the night and not have to wake up early in the morning. They can get up a normal. They could leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock, make it by rehearsal time. So I know that doesn't apply to everybody, but that is something, and I will be sending out an email for that clarification with the attached email from NMSU. So there is no need. It is excessive to stay over Thursday night. There's nobody who needs to drive any extra. I would say take that out of your plans if you need. Your kid could even go to first period. Anyways, want that to know. Mostly I want to advertise for us that we have our jazz performance next week, which is super, super awesome. 6:25 at El Dorado PAC. There'll be performances going on before and maybe a couple after, but we're kind of at the end of the day. Kids are doing a really wonderful job with that. That is next Thursday, correct.
What time does it start, if we want to see some other performances?
8 a.m.
Oh, okay, it's going on.
This is all day long. I didn't have this on the agenda, but 3 things I want to put onto your attention for Albuquerque Jazz Fest on that Saturday. If you're in town, the Albuquerque band directors and Rio Rancho band directors are going to get together and we're going to give a performance. So it's going to be an all band director, elementary school teacher jazz band that we're going to perform, I believe, at 2 o'clock next Saturday. And then there is a guest artist performance in the evening with the Albuquerque Jazz Orchestra. Highly recommend just everybody for a good showing of good music, and we get the Jazz Fest brings in some of the top artists in the country. Steve Weist, who is from the University of North Texas, one of the most recorded trombone players. He's just going to be in town hanging out, and so you could get to hear him play professionally. Double thumbs up. That's like a $10 ticket. Look on the Albuquerque/UNM Jazz Fest website for further details, as well as sometime in March, I don't know the exact date, here in Volcano Vista, PAC. I've been partnering with the New Mexico Philharmonic to get our administration to allow us to have the Philharmonic to perform here. So, a lot of people over here, it takes 40 minutes to get to Pope Joy Hall, and by that point, you don't want to watch a concert anyway. So they're going to be performing here, and we have a discount code that I can distribute to all of our parents here to encourage you guys to go to that concert. So the Albuquerque Philharmonic will be performing a concert in our PAC, so right in your backyards. So those are the big performance opportunities coming up
Is this it?
in the next month or so. Yep, that's it right there.
So that's the same weekend as Southwest Honor Band?
Yep.
huh? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So there's a lot of stuff going on at that time. Any questions about that? So that's the Southwest Honor Band Jazz Fest weekend. Tons of performances. our students' performances, director performance, and then the guest artist performance. And then, like I mentioned, sometime March 23rd or 24th, if you want to take your kids to a cool professional concert by our professional orchestra, it'll be here at Volcano Vista. TMEA. So I'm going to be. If you need something from me in the next few days or so, I will be gone Thursday and Friday, or I will be gone after school, starting after school on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, I'm going to the Texas All-State Conference. So there will be no after-school sectionals for Wednesday. No after-school wind ensemble rehearsal on Thursday. Concert bands will still be rehearsing, but sectionals for both Thursday and Friday will not be happening. I will be out of town. Just if your students didn't pass that along. Or if you're one of the people who's like, is it really canceled? It really is canceled for those students. They are set up, particularly the wind ensemble, with a bunch of work to do during that class to get them ready for MPA. Speaking of all of our dates, if you didn't see in my last update maybe a few weeks ago, we should have just about dates and times for everything for the rest of the semester. Guard competition dates are mostly flexible because they see how many people register and then they bump around. But those dates and where we registered are online. Buses are registered. We have a rough idea of what we're doing for the state basketball tournament. We know exactly when we're performing for MPA. We know exactly when we're performing for state. Our band our band banquet for the end of the year, that's planned. We have the dates and most things set for all of our fundraiser stuff. So if there's anything that you haven't seen, is there anything on the calendar that I may be forgetting? I feel pretty good about that. We have everything set up to make your lives easier for the remainder of the year. There should be no surprises. In the case of next week, there was a surprise to me, and it's going to be a volunteer only. The basketball, they moved their game. You know, my policy a month out is what I try to deliver to you guys as required performances. At some point in time, they changed the game from next Tuesday to next Wednesday, and so I'm likely just to take that off of the schedule. Likewise, tomorrow, on Wednesday evening, I have canceled that game. That's when I'm going to be out of town for TMEA. Haven't gotten a sub. So they got a couple more evenings off, actually lightens the load for everybody here. For the basketball schedule. Anything on scheduling? To the 14th. Yeah, it was moved over one day. I just got, this is as of a couple hours ago, I got it confirmed from Coach. Yeah. And so I'm probably going to put canceled on that one or move it over and take a volunteer group. That's all. Yeah, everything right now is scheduling. We perform last at state, which is kind of cool. I think that's the spot they give to the previous defending champion.
Are we automatically in state because we're defending champions?
Yeah. We use our scores. Our scores from last year qualified us. We are still doing MPA, although we technically aren't required to, but we're doing that for a performance. Yeah, nothing. Did I nail it? No questions? Let me check the chat. Don't think anything.
I'm not being very chatty this time.
Perfect. That means I'm doing my job well, or
if you have questions,
or you guys are lying to me.
I'm monitoring chat. So we're going to move on though. Let's try to get through everything.
Question, so
sorry.
Wednesday's game, is that canceled?
In 2 days from now, yeah, that one as of this morning was canceled. I'll go ahead and edit the calendar right now for both of those games. Thank you.
All right. Last, we just want to check with the fundraising committees to see, make sure they have everything they need. Starting with the first one coming up is the Walkin Run. Amanda's not here, but can you speak to what you guys need and how things are going?
So
We're ready to help.
we ran into kind of a big issue with the date. I know this is, it's touchy. So there is another car show that is being put on by Garfield. It's to help them, just so everyone kind of in the room knows, it's to help them go overseas on a trip. So it's been on the news, it's being advertised, and it is on the 23rd. There is also another car show that's kind of big in Albuquerque. I don't have the name right now off the top of my head. So again, we're proposing to move it again. This time to June The 8th would be our next really available date. We've had races and other car shows and other things that we have scheduled. And
Yeah.
out there, that's the only date that's available.
We did discuss that a little bit before you came in, and I think at least the initial consensus is that we can't push it past the end of the school year. And the remaining weekends of the school year are also pretty tight.
Right.
So I think is it just the car show that's really the problem? Can we still have a race? And if the car show's a flop, we still have the race?
I think so. Well, I mean, we can discuss it as a committee. Amanda's doing the race part of it, so
Mhm.
I can't speak to that part.
My understanding was that the 23rd was actually picked as the best day for the race, which is something that our community already knows. So not to speak on her behalf, but I do believe that date serves our main fundraiser well.
I think the race worked. We were potentially coming into a couple challenges if the race, the car show, and the Philharmonic all happened at the same time, and we got over a certain number of people. We had to start adding
The-
fire and.
The fire marshal we'd have to get that permit, so that's an additional $251 cost. But looking at the calendar, the Philharmonic, I know you spoke to that, so I think the 23rd is just primarily a practice day for them, and their actual performance is going to be on the 24th.
Correct. No audience for them, so they would actually, we would keep them in the back staff lot, and then everything in the front of the school, as well as Tony Hillerman would be accessed
So
for.
that would be helpful for our numbers.
Yep.
And keeping us below that 1,000 mark.
Cool.
But it's that car show, like if we have these two big car shows happening, we will not have the numbers that we.
Yeah.
To be
Of the car show part.
Yeah, so the car show, they pretty much say like, it's like a $25 entry fee.
Yeah.
And so it's not gonna take much for like plaques and stuff to basically.
Wipe that out.
Yeah. Right now we figured we could get 80 cars, but that's if we could actually fill those slots.
What would be our break even on the car show portion?
We're still looking at some numbers because we're looking, if you're gonna have a car show, you kinda need some entertainment with the DJ, so we're looking at those costs still. So we're still trying to find that break even. If the race does eat up a lot of those costs as well.
Yeah, so if you think there's just no hope that we'll even hit the break even, then maybe we need to ditch the car show portion.
Well, we just make it free. This is hey, you bring your car and you can park over in this area and you hang out. That's our worst case. And nobody
Yeah.
shows up to hang out with their car. Nobody shows up to hang out with their car. Or we put it down. It's be part of our car show, and it's a $10 donation to bring your car.
That's a good idea.
You know, like that's what I would recommend as our worst case. That way, 20 cars show up. It's pocket change. But again, we have something that we calling and we can say that we've held it annually. We're basically advertising for ourselves. That would be.
That's a good idea.
You know that we can just go back down to that. That's what it originally in my head stood as, right? And so maybe we're not at the big scale for a year, but at least we're doing it.
I like the idea. The only thing that we had talked about was for cars to come in, you had to have them sign, to get the risk thing approved by the school, you had to have the car sign a liability waiver.
Yep. That's
So
it.
I guess we just have those. I don't know how we do that.
Well, to register, so to save your spots, because if we make it a donation or like donations are welcome, it's just we can set up a website and it's like here, click this box or Google form, and we just check as they come in. Hey, did you submit your form? And we populate that in an Excel, and we just check their names off. So again, doesn't make it as huge as maybe we thought, but I think I would recommend that as being our bottom line for if things aren't working, we can pull back on the reins and just make it something that's fun. And that way, really, we're trying to cross-pollinate these two different activities. The racers are seeing the cars, and the cars are seeing the race. So
We'll talk about it and we'll be in contact. That's
Cool.
the best I can do right now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing is still the race, so hopefully we can still pull that off. But next, moving on to the Jazz Internets. How's it going? And
So, we've been doing a bit of planning. We've got some catering options, and, that we're trying to look at, and a couple other things, just trying to get a donation of tables and chairs so that we can have maybe more comfortable. seating.
Real tables and chairs.
Yeah.
Cool.
So working on that, and,
Ooh, that'd be
we're in the
cool.
process of donation for the silent auction collection, so, I have some things to go over with you. I don't know if you want to just do that in a smaller setting, that way we can, if you wanna weigh into some of these things, we'll be having another meeting. You can-
I think at this point, it would be great if you could invite me to your meetings.
Yeah.
And maybe just invite any of the board, at this point for both committees, you can invite the board to your group, your meetups, and anybody who can show up, will, then we can be there to help and be
Yeah.
there live when
Yeah.
like, oh, who can do this,
Right.
we can sort of speak up and help.
Yeah, and that was the plan, it was just collecting some of this information preliminary.
Yeah.
Don't wanna waste your time on some of these things,
Yeah.
and now that we have more information to present you.
May I request, could you send it to the executive board, kind of your timelines and what you're seeing? The only, the thing that I'm just curious to see is to start looking at a layout or having a day when we want to plan layout. That's been the thing that's on my mind for a different space. We've kind of gotten comfortable, we got comfortable with the one, so a layout conversation I would love to be part of. Dorothy had a question.
So if you could add me to your committee meeting as well, well, of course, I'm gonna do the linens, for both of that party and the one following. But I'll just need to know, cause of course I don't have that information, I'm not that, with the program, to know how many tables we covered last year, the big ones, the round ones. I don't know if y'all are gonna get square donated, round donated, like, what are we looking at, so that I can have enough product? And then who do we contact? My neighbor, she's donating night stays at her Marriott, so
Okay.
I just need to know where she needs to.
Is that going through you, or is it going through, is it going through the committee or through our fundraising team?
It's through the committee.
Okay, so through Janice.
It's on the website, you can send it to the hospitality, or you can send it to my personal email.
Okay.
It's on the website.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I've been trying to, when you know of somebody that you can.
Yeah. Something I thought of, I don't know, have we already tried I just found out that more people in our band have balloon contacts. Did we have ballooning rides last year?
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. It's been in my head.
Yeah, I
cool.
think I do too.
Yeah, I think that's just a cool one, as many people, and those people like to fly anyway. And they need a good reason to get out there, so that could always be fun. Cool.
I will, if we want to go with lights like we did last year too, I can try to get more lights probably.
Yeah, we were.
So we'll probably need to up our light budget a little bit, but we still get a pretty good deal through AV, so I'll try to get that information before your next meeting,
Okay.
whenever that is.
Yep. Very cool.
Okay, with that, I think that's about it.
Jackie, do you have anything for us from the band council?
That's true.
If not, that's fine.
We have our leadership, band council event on Friday, so your kid is in leadership.
Mhm.
It's a go for that, so Valentine's Day.
If I could ask if someone might be able to, again, so that's just the leadership, so it'll be a smaller group. Again, I won't be here. If I'll have one of the assistants who is here, but if there might be a parent who doesn't mind to hang around a little bit and be another parent support during this Friday, that would be welcome.
This Friday?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, how long is the event, Jackie?
It's an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. So not too long. You can.
It's from 5 to 7.
Cool.
5 to 7.
Yeah. So if anybody would be willing to just hang out and for that afternoon, I think that's all I need in terms of time. Cool. Thank you, Jackie.
Anthony, can you, do you need my help, or can you move Arlene to secretary?
Sorry, Jen.
Oh,
Ooh,
just like that.
golly. Sometimes you guys are too good at your jobs.
All right, let's just double check online to see if there's any questions. Any questions from the Look here.
Any new topics that we need to bring up? I mean, since it's a light meeting, is there anything floating? Questions? Any concerns about scheduling? We're at that point where we're hearing anyone in here who has a younger child who's at the middle schools. If you have any feedback about how, I don't get to know how their course cards are distributed. If you have anything to share about how that's going, that's always something that's always helpful for me. Yeah.
I have something unrelated. Do you know, is the band gonna be performing at graduation this year?
As of right now, we are starting, this is going to be our first year to alternate with the orchestra. So actually giving us, lightening up our crazy end of the year. And so it was planned actually as of last year that there would start to be this rotation between band, orchestra, band, orchestra.
So who's performing this year?
This is an orchestra year.
Okay, and do you know if there's gonna be finals that week for the younger kids?
I believe, I think it'll be the same thing where like, it's like a day that, last year, right, it's like there isn't school for that day, or I forget what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens a week before other students' finals. It's,
Okay.
right, yeah, so, yeah.
It's not just all the administration, it's the entire school system.
Yeah, because it's a required workday for us. So no conflict for any students that way between Riley and Ryan.
Okay.
Yes. I have asked the percussion because I know traditionally, right, we do our boom boom click thing, and I told the orchestra already that if they don't go, that they have to do some sort of version of it. But yeah, I've noted that. Also, it shares it so that, you know, if the orchestra has something fancy, they do for them. But I have talked to the percussion and said, like, hey, if you want to bring the drums, and go out there. I don't know if we can do that. But when I made this decision, I did know that you guys would be expecting something like that, and so even a small group of people has been asked to still do that for you.
Okay.
Good questions.
Yeah. With that, we'll close in half an hour here. Motion to close the meeting?
I second.
Second, all right. Very good.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
There we go.